Oh, do I feel good today? What is up, DTL Universe? This right here is your daily sports and sports betting brand of record. We are live every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, on demand on the weekends. Now, housekeeping, before I bring in the stars of the show. What an incredible Father's Day weekend. I do not understand for the life of me how people don't have sports in their lives. You guys know that my kids are my everything. 27 holes on Saturday with JJ. Yesterday, pool, U.S. Open. Greatest U.S. Open, by the way, I've ever watched. And then sushi last night at our favorite sushi joint. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend too. Now, my man AB was just absolutely crushing. Let's take a look at how he did over the weekend and look at all of these green check marks. We tell you all the time, college baseball, there is nobody better. Now, today at the brand, we've got 3 other big live shows. 1:30 Eastern time. Tune in. Turn on your notifications. Florida, NC State. Somebody is going home, and AB will get you ready for that. Then at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we've got Texas A&M and Kentucky, the winner's bracket. Let's go for that one. Then later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, me, Raphael, Charles, the man from the Dirty, and DG. Hopefully he shows up on time. We'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern time with DTL After Dark. It's only for our crew members. If you are not a member of the crew, our premium side, I encourage you to do it right now. It's right here on your screen. It's very, very simple, and it is the best value in all of sports betting, and it's not even close. Excuse me. Now that the housekeeping is done, boy, I tell you what, it is going to be a fantastic week here at the brand. Who says the dog days can't be fun? But it is cash stacking time. You know what time it is. It's bringing my partner, our 5-tool player, the man that we cannot do this without. And I'm surprised he even got out of bed this morning with the weekend that he had. AB, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Good morning, everybody. You know what? I'm surprised I got out of bed, too. What if I did the show from in bed? Like the camera just like, you know what I mean? You're just like under the covers. I actually
all the way up to your neck.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. Weighted blanket, 20 pounds. Make sure you get the queen size. Anybody who has trouble sleeping, weighted blanket.
Boom, boom, boom. By the way, AB, Dave says, I honestly would have blown my entire bankroll months ago, if not for AB and the man from the Dirty. What was the weekend like for you? You were all over the place.
Oh, it was money, man. We're sitting I think 8 out of 14 picks parlays in the College World Series. That's just that part. We're 32-17 overall. So everybody if you've played every pick in the college baseball postseason, right? You've tripled your money to this point. Because we've hit these are parlays. Tennessee, Florida State was plus 175. Yesterday that we hit on the money line. We've got some other ones there. So yeah, so that's about where you sit. Just about tripled your money. Not bad.
I know we're not really sports betting experts, but I think that's pretty good. I mean, I would think that tripling your money on one sport would be pretty good. Also, by the way, AB, all 3 of our DTL golf experts, they all picked Bryson to win yesterday. So we cashed that big ticket as well. An amazing U.S. Open.
Oh my God. I mean, that U.S. Open was awesome. You feel bad for Rory, right? But I mean, you guys killed it. Like the golf show, 100%. That was the best part is like we were live last night going into the night game, right? The Tennessee, North Carolina. And literally the whole chat was like, dude, golf. Like everybody. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, it really, really was. We're going to talk about that coming up later and educate and entertain as well. Also, Game 5 tonight in Boston. I can't wait to live bet that one on DTL After Dark. But we've got the best crew in the business. And AB, they are getting impatient. So let's do the Howie Schwab crew play of the day. What are the choices?
What you just said. NBA Game 5. You're going to go Mavericks plus 6.5. Celtics minus 6.5. You're going over 209.5 or under 209.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now, and we'll update as we always do at the end of the show.
Also, there are always new people checking out our little brand. When you come in, hit that like button for us right at the top. Then open up the chat and talk away. I guarantee you DG will be in the chat today. There he is right there. And so we've got people everywhere. But it's time to get to our best bets. And I tell you what, I love my guys. I love my crew. It's time for the picks. and look who I have today. Are you kidding me right now? It's an embarrassment of riches. And the man who gets the 15 seconds today, it doesn't matter if we're cashing in the 82nd minute or in the first half, he continues to be a beast. The man from the dirty. Charles, it's all yours. Good morning, sir.
Morning, coach, crew, chat. Yeah, Euros is off and running. It's pretty much going as expected. Just remember, these first matches are a little bit tricky. Once we get past the first matches, it even gets more predictable as well. But I think we've been pretty much spot on. Other than England, I'll be the first to admit I got England wrong. Even with Croatia, I still think we should have cashed that one as well. It took a missed PK and a disallowed. But other than that, I think we've been spot on. Looking to ride these first series of matches out and get on to the second wave.
You're damn right. And I absolutely love it. Now, this man has literally been all over the place, and I don't even know how emotionally he is here today because he's trying to figure out how to take out a second mortgage so he can go to Game 5 and watch his favorite hockey team raise the Stanley Cup. The man from South Florida. Z-Man, good morning, sir.
You know what? Look, I thought we were going to celebrate the Stanley Cup here in South Florida for the first time ever on Saturday night, but the bottom line is, went to Edmonton. We got a split. That's a great scenario.
It is.
All right. We're up 3-1 now. We're going to have 3 more chances. 2 of them would be on home ice. Hopefully it only takes 1 more chance tomorrow night. The ticket prices they're out of this world. I mean, the Zaslow men, they're going to have to watch from the Zaslow Mansion family room. There is no scenario where I could tell my wife, hey, listen, we're spending $4,000 because maybe, not even definitely. Can you imagine, guys, by the way, Panther fans flew to Edmonton. Can you imagine, besides that, it's a bitch to get to Edmonton from Fort Lauderdale International Airport. Can you imagine flying all the way there and lose 8-1? I don't understand how that's a good – people are, but it was a great experience. A little bit great experience to me. So I don't get that, man. It's too much money.
Charles had 15 seconds this morning. Zazzle had 1 minute and 15 seconds this morning. We got a new segment. And now, finally, he is our numbers guy. We can't do it without him. We love ourselves a little. Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, crew. What a weekend for long shots, unless you're the Dodgers, because not only did they lose bets, they lost more bets with bets being out, but they lost a pitcher as well. But let's talk about long shots. WWE. Tag team champions, new ones, Fry, 10-1 winners. Cargill, probably going back to the Performance Center. Tony Awards last night. Yes, I was watching the Tony Awards. I said, big upset as the Outsiders win for best play. 6-1 opening closed at plus 550. I grabbed that 6-1. It was a great show. Give me the Tony Awards plus money. It's 6-1.
Oh, my goodness. Everything we're talking about this morning. AB, go.
We got to give a shout out to Rafael here. All right. Before the College World Series started, he broke down literally Charles Schwab Field in Omaha of how the wind would work. All right. And when it's blowing in, it blows in, but then it blows to the side. Like it's very similar to Wrigley. Right. And it has played out 100% of what Rafael said. I mean, literally 100%. He said this before we even knew what the weather would be. And just have to give him a shout out because he absolutely nailed it. And it has made a difference in games that have 17 runs and games that have 6 runs. Like Rafael just absolutely drilled it.
Hashtag pays to watch live. Hashtag knowledge is power. Oh, and by the way, I was 4-0 on my Friday and Saturday picks live on the show. You guys are getting lazy on me. And we're going to remedy that right now. All right, let's get to it. We got best bets to get to. We got educate and entertain to get to. And there are 3 more big games in Euro 2024. I am all in. I love this matchup today, all 3 matchups. But, Charles, let me come over to you. I just want your BTTS to start today because Rafael is also dipping his toe in the water today. So let's start with that first one.
And by the way, I think we have a second goal, Coach, Romania.
Oh,
yeah, Group D. Hey, they conclude their opening fixture today with the Dutch setting the tone on Sunday. Austria, they come in as a popular dark horse to progress far in this tournament. The Wonder team has only lost 1 of their last 16 matches and have averaged 1.18 goals away from home in 2024. While France, they also have high expectations, with the books laying them as the second favorites to win the tournament. Les Bleus come in only losing 1 of their last 7 international games and have averaged 1.17 goals on the road in 2024. both teams, they'll know they need to match Netherlands' results. So we should see both teams pushing to score early and often. So we'll go ahead and back the both teams to scores. I definitely project each side getting on the scoreboard today. And then I have that little first half parlay for you guys with the Belgium, Slovakia, France, Austria, both to score a first half goal as well.
Okay, apparently I wasn't clear on splitting that up today, Charles, but you want to do all your plays? You do all your plays. Hey,
I got distracted, Coach. I heard you. It went, yep. My apologies.
It's okay. It's okay. I love that first play, by the way. You know, BTTS is my favorite bet. But when Raphael is also in the game, like EA Sports, let's go. Raphael, you like France today. Why?
Well, first of all, if you were on me and Charles' text chain all weekend long, we were cashing tickets all over the place in Euro Cup ever since it started. So thank you for Charles for helping me on some plays. But we had a monster weekend in Euro Cup. So thank you, Charles. But yeah, I believe in France too. And this one is going to be a big game. This one's interesting. You can take France by 1 goal at plus 275. I can guarantee you this number is dropping right now because everyone's betting France. As my betting screen is light up like Christmas. And I would also look at France by 2 goals at plus 320. Probably can bet both of them. And if they win, you're probably going to win some money no matter how it wins. But I can easily see a 2-1 France win or 3-1 France win. So Charles cashes, I cash, everyone cashes. I think La Bleu wins this one easily because they saw what Spain did. They saw what the Dutch did. France wants to do the same thing. And hopefully France doesn't read the books on how England played yesterday because what a stinker England looked like yesterday.
Oh, they look bad then. They look bad in the warm-ups coming up to the Euros. Real quick, just to educate and entertain a little bit the people at home, how do goals, and Charles or Raphael can take this, how do goals play into tiebreakers for the group stage? Because do teams just want to score as much as possible? Either one.
Yeah, goal differential. That's what baffles me about a team like England. They know that they need goals to stack in case it comes down to a tie or anything like that. So, yeah, there's more incentive to score goals in this tournament if it does come down to a tie as well.
All right, there you go. It's all about goals. Raphael, go.
Yeah, Spain said the same thing after their game. They were talking about that's why they wanted to score, not 1, not 2, but 3, because they wanted a goal differential. Because normally Spain starts off tournaments really slow, really sluggish, passing the ball all over the place, but they jumped on the scoreboard just like Germany did. So I totally agree with what Charles just said.
All right, boom and boom from both of my guys. Goals matter. Remember that when you're placing your own bets or listening to my guys. All right, great start, guys. Great start. So, AB, we've got a lot of NBA today, but we have a lot of baseball, and I want to come back over to you because you have 2 live shows today, 30 minutes before each game starts today. I watched over the weekend, absolutely killer. It's kind of nice when I'm working on my tan, AB, and I can watch you on my phone at the pool. That was nice. That was nice.
Right, that is nice, right? And, working on the tan, very important.
Yeah, especially for somebody like me. All right, where do we go today in these 2 games?
All right, so we have 3 plays here. All right, and understand that props aren't out yet, and we have been crushing on the prop bets. So that's why we're going to go live 30 minutes and an hour before each show. But first off, we're going to go NC State in the early game, plus 110. NC State, very slept upon team here, going up against Florida. Now, Florida throwing the lefty, Jack Caglione, all right, the stud. Guy can throw. He can throw hard, but he gives up home runs. He gives up doubles. NC State, I believe, can get to him. And remember, this is an elimination game. Next, we're going to go Texas A&M. First, we're going to take Texas A&M on the money line, minus 130. This is a team that, quite frankly, should be playing in the championship series. I think that they get over Kentucky, and I'll tell you why. Because we're going to play the over 9.5 in that game. And Kentucky's biggest problem, right? The reason Kentucky's here is pitching. They don't give up a ton of hits, but what they do give up are walks. And that's what's almost cost them against Oregon State. That's what almost cost them against NC State. And guess what? Here is a little nugget for you. Chick-fil-A nugget. We haven't done one of those in a while. Kentucky gives up a ton of walks. Texas A&M is the number 1 team in the country at drawing walks. They will get guys on base. They will manufacture runners. And if Kentucky's pitching, if the sequencing gets out of whack, like we talked about this weekend, look the hell out.
I just heard about 5 or 6 things that I would never know on my own. So I ask you one simple question this morning, ladies and gentlemen watching at home. Do you want to do the work? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Now, real quick, chat. Charles, and I know this answer, but I want you to tell the people at home. Does Charles have a money line play in Euros for today's game? DK has another token that if the match ends in a tie, you get your money back, doubling up on his Switzerland pick from Friday. Why don't you like money line plays, Charles?
I like to stay neutral. I would just rather root for goals, especially when you have the draw line included, because these draws, you only have like a 33.3% chance of cashing once you include that draw line as well. I'd like to stick with 50-50 with totals as well. And then today, I mean, it just depends because your two favorites are like minus 180 to minus 210. So there's not a lot of value on the money line today unless you're including it as part of a parlay. So that's kind of a tricky one as well. So, I mean, if I had to say one, I would have more confidence in Belgium winning because they have a easier matchup. But like I said, it's like minus 210.
There you go. Hashtag knowledge is power. You got to watch live. You can't get this on the recap screen. That's what I keep telling you. By the way, we are 7 wide today. DG's in the chat. And guess what? Soupy, best beard in the game. He's also in the chat. Just added a exclusive pick for all of you. Bryce Harper over 1/2 singles. So he's the single that cashes. He's hit this in 12 of his last 15. Soupy, thank you very much. Now, AB is done. Charles is done. But I've got my focus on my man Z and my man Raphael. So let's start with the first quarter play because I absolutely love the thought process. But Raphael, I want to hear it. You're up. Are you on mute, Raphael?
No, I'm not. Yes, I was because they're landscaping outside. I'm trying to keep the lawnmower out of the audio. But let's think about this. What happened in game 4? I think the Mavericks have continued to keep on scoring at home in that game. I just think revenge factor. First quarter is going to be a blowout. Game 1, the Celtics blew out the Mavericks in the first quarter. I think it was 37-20. I can see something like that. I just don't think the Celtics want to have another game. They're going to close this one out. I'm taking a -2 first quarter as I think a blowout from start to finish tonight.
I like that a lot. By the way, as we were just talking in the last 2 minutes, guess what happened? Romania scored again. If you had the over 2.25, you just cashed it live right here on the show because that's what I had. We're talking goals. We just told you that. Cash the ticket. All right. So first quarter there, but then Z-Man, I'm coming over to you. The Celtics absolutely laid an egg in game 4. It happens. But tonight they're back home. It all lines up for a celebration in Beantown, but you got to lay some points. Sell me.
Yeah, I really don't think it's a hard sell. I'm with Raphael. I think it's a blowout from start to finish. You know, I'd like to believe that it could be like last year. You know, last year, Miami went back to Denver in game 5, down 3-1, and it was a really close game. The Heat led most of that game. Matter of fact, the Heat were ahead with 2.5 minutes left. Denver pulls it out late. Great game. Denver wins the title. I'd like to believe that could be the case tonight, just from a fan perspective. Give me something to be interested in tonight, you know? But I think it's going to look more like what it looked like in 2008 when the Celtics last won a championship against the Lakers. They were up 3-1. The Lakers won game 5. You got to remember back then it was 2-3-2, the format. Lakers won game 5 at home to stay alive. Game 6 back in Boston, blowout from start to finish. It was a party at TD Garden the entire night. That's how I see tonight winding up looking. I think Raphael's right. You play the first quarter -2 for the game -6.5. I don't think you're going to be sweating it at all.
I don't think so either. By the way, the Oilers and Panthers, they would love a 2-3-2 right about now. Can you imagine if they have to go back for game 6 to Edmonton?
Oh, my God. The media in Edmonton must have been so mad when
so
the Panthers
pissed.
didn't win game 4. You know how us media people are. They must have been so mad when the Oilers won game 4.
We got to fly 3 flights to get there. Channel 8's not going to fly us first class. AB, go.
I'll tell you who was mad. It wasn't the reporters. It was the bosses who run the companies of that are looking at the expense reports. And if it goes game 7, we have to go back, forth. They're like, oh, my God. They're like, fellas, breakfast per diem, $5. That's all we got.
It's still $10. By the way, AB, I'm coming right back to you because the chat's like, hey, we're shutting out baseball today. There are 9 games. But guess what it is, AB? And I'd love for you to educate the people. It is Paul Skenes Day in Pittsburgh. He is 3-0. His ERA is south of 2.5. They're hosting the Reds. Any thoughts on that one?
There are thoughts on this one, and I'll give you an exclusive play just for this show right here.
Let's go.
You know what? We're going to fade Paul Skenes today. All right.
What?
Now, it's not terrible. It's not awful. All right. But did my camera freeze here? Oh, it froze.
We can
All
still
right.
hear you, though.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Apparently, the camera doesn't like us fading Paul Skenes, but what we're going to do, under 17.5 outs recorded at plus 155. Take the shot because he's had a lot of great games in a row. He's due for a bad one. It's Major League Baseball. These guys are good.
All right, that's 5 2/3. So if he goes less than 5 2/3, we cash that ticket exclusively right here live on DTL. All right, we've got a big game tonight. You know, we're more than just about the sports betting. We want to give you the knowledge as well. We're talking NBA. We're talking U.S. Open. It is time to educate and entertain. Robbie Hockey says AB just froze because of that blasphemy of fading Paul Skenes. I don't know if there's a bigger fan of Paul Skenes than AB. Yeah, maybe his better half, but AB wishes he was that as well. He loves Paul Skenes. All right, gentlemen, right now we're going to go 3 wide here. And Z-Man, I'm going to start with you because you love the Celtics on the blowout tonight. Kyrie Irving came out and he said, hey, I want to silence the good people in Boston. This, as good as the U.S. Open was yesterday, I have been completely underwhelmed with the NBA Finals so far. And I think I'm going to be underwhelmed tonight, but if we cash a ticket, I'm okay with it. So as we head into tonight, is there any way in your mind the Mavericks can force, what would they have to do to force a game 6?
Well, look, what they would have, the way the Mavericks are built, right? They have 2 superstars, although I don't think Kyrie Irving's, I think he's showing everyone he's not a superstar anymore. But you got 2 star players and then you got role players. The only way that works is if both of the star players have huge games on the biggest stage. And so far in games 1 and 2 on the road, Kyrie Irving threw up massive duds. So Luka's going to be great. There's no reason to believe he won't be. But there's a lot of doubt as far as what you're going to get out of Kyrie Irving tonight. For me, all eyes are on him because this has been almost a redemption. Now, small sample size, but this has been almost a redemption type season for Kyrie Irving. Now, there are plenty of people out there like me who I don't trust him. I'm not a fan, stuff I'm not going to forgive, the anti-Semitic videos, that kind of stuff. You lost me with that, all right? But I could also be unbiased and tell you he's had a fantastic year, and he looks like a more mature person. But, Coach, what you said right there, that's like taking a step back to the old Kyrie where he's still doing the, I want to shut up the Boston crowd. I want to show them what's what. It's like, whoa. I thought we were past all of that stuff. So if I'm a Maverick fan, that worries me big time that we're going back to that Kyrie. And at the same time, all the goodwill that he's built up this year, if they lose tonight and Kyrie Irving has another dud in Boston, because it's not just on the road in the finals, it's in Boston in the finals. And he's 0 for 3 there with 3 duds. That's a major choke job. You want to talk about Rory McIlroy? I understand. If Kyrie goes 0 for 3 and has 3 terrible games in the finals, Coach, that's a major choke job out of Kyrie.
I could not agree more. And right now his number at BetMGM is 23.5, juice to minus 120. I'm inclined, after listening to that, to go under, right, Raphael? So let's come over to you. Because when I look at these other ones, Luke is still at 32.5. And I feel like every single game, Raphael, he's getting slower and slower and slower. And it's hard to watch him even get up and down the court. I would go under here too. Your thoughts?
Definitely on the Luka, just because if it's a blowout, they're not going to be playing the fourth quarter, just like Tatum and Brown did play the fourth quarter in the last game. So keep an eye. If you like Boston in this game, that means it could be a blowout. So keep an eye out if you're playing Dallas Mavericks player prop bets, if you think it's going to be a blowout game, because we saw it with the Celtics in the last game. Tatum and Brown were nowhere close to their numbers because they were sitting most in the second half. But I agree, Kyrie's going to fade tonight. I do not trust him at all. His games 1 and 2, he's averaging 14 points in games in Celtics at games 1 and 2, shooting 35% and 0 for 8 from the three-point land. That's games 1 and 2. This game is in Boston. Games 1 and 2 was in Boston. I don't see anything changing in this game. I think Kyrie's going to struggle. I agree. He opened up his mouth like old Kyrie, and now he's going to have to eat it because I just don't understand why he opened up his mouth. He was such pleasant in the NBA playoffs with his interviews and all that, and then old Kyrie comes out, and I think that's going to haunt him. So yeah, I don't want to say a choke job on this one, just because I wasn't expecting that much of Kyrie this season. I've been telling you, fade him all series because I thought we were going to see the same Kyrie we saw when OKC played them and OKC shut him down. He only had a big series against Minnesota because 7-footers were guarding him the whole time of pick and rolls. I don't like Kyrie tonight, and that's why I kind of like the Celtics to blow them out.
Yeah, he's been a complete baby face, and even the videos with the wife and the baby getting onto the I've been here for all of it. But AB, they're absolutely right. At the end of the day, whether LeBron says, I hate that I'm not playing with him again, you're measured by these series. And when you start to go on the other side of the mountain, it can be a steep fall. Your take.
That's why you play Celtics props tonight. Because, look, I agree with the guys. The Celtics are they're going to own Dallas here. But what they don't do in closeout, championship, final games is take the stars out at the end. Right? Think Tom Brady Super Bowl. You don't take Tom Brady out kneeling down to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the same thing in basketball here. Jason Tatum is going to play and shoot as much as he wants in the fourth quarter. And trust me, he will do that. But also what happens if Boston is up late and it's convincing, okay? That's when you start to get veteran players that are real locker room glue guys. They get a couple extra shots. Al Horford is a play tonight. He'll go over his points. I'm telling you, because everyone loves him. He's going to get multiple more opportunities later in this game. And you talk about guys who don't show up in championship games. He's the complete opposite. Like, he's your consummate professional. Al Horford is going to be a wagon of a play tonight. I'm telling you.
8.5 minus 115 is his number at BetMGM. Let's sail to the over. The other one that I'm going to play tonight, guys, is going to be Jaylen Brown. His number is 24.5 minus 120. The reason being, he is the favorite to win the finals MVP. And don't think for a second, even though he's quiet and he's a little bit shy, that he doesn't want to take that MVP trophy away from Jason Tatum. He absolutely does. He feels disrespected, and this would validate him. So tonight, I think Jaylen Brown is aggressive from the start, and will sail over his number and get 28-29 tonight. All right, gentlemen, it was another great weekend just in sports in general. And, Raphael, I'm going to start with you because the U.S. Open, in my opinion, because I work for the PGA Tour, everybody knows that, but also golf is my life. I can't remember a more fun U.S. Open to watch that I can ever remember. It was about Bryson becoming a heel to a baby face and one of the best bunker shots you're ever going to see in your life. And then Rory all by himself, the camera on him, just dejected, gutted. Maybe one of the most gutting losses you'll ever see in sports. 49 for 49 inside 5 feet all week. He misses 2 in the final 3 holes. You can't make that kind of stuff up. Then he leaves, does not talk to the media. That's been the big story overnight. So, Raphael, in your opinion, how much will this stick with Rory? Because this week is a signature event, and I'm thinking about fading him for the next while because of what happened last night. Your take?
Oh, I agree. You fade him for the next couple of events. And I'm not going to put too much stock into why he left. Don't forget, he was the voice of the PGA against the LIV players. And who won the tournament? A LIV player won the tournament. So
no doubt.
I'm not going to give that much of all praise. Bryson, congratulations. You won. You were 18-1 to win this tournament. Opened up at 20-1, got bet all the way down to 18. I even saw some books have plus 1650. Sunday, I jumped on him to win the fourth round, minus 120. Rory was plus 330. So congratulations, Bryson. You won. But until this beef of LIV and PGA, I don't think that the storyline is going to be the greatest U.S. Open for a while, not forever, because of the storyline of LIV versus PGA. Until that gets resolved, yeah, it's a fun story, great tournament, fantastic Sunday when I was watching it with soccer and Cubs game as the Cubs lose again. It's fantastic to watch yesterday, but it's not going to be that big of a story until these two hug it out and become one.
You know, this is what I love about this show and this brand is that we can agree to disagree. There's nobody on planet Earth I love more than Raphael, and I could not disagree more with that last line.
I'm out of
I
here.
absolutely could not. I absolutely could not.
Coach,
I
it
didn't
on the
even think
LIV
about
tour.
the whole LIV PGA Tour yesterday as we were watching it down the stretch. The point is valid. But I didn't even think about it because of Rory not winning for 10 years, because of Bryson trying to win. The last time he won a U.S. Open, his father was alive. It's Father's Day. His dad died 2 years. There were so many storylines that I was thinking about, but that wasn't one of them. But it's valid. So, AB, as I come over to you and we watch the face of the PGA Tour, that is absolutely fact. And the fact that he didn't stand there like he normally does and answer the questions, 6 straight top 10s in the U.S. Open. The last 2, he lost by 1 shot. It is hard to take. And as you start to get a little bit older, you realize these chances just aren't going to come around every single day. What did you make of what you saw last night?
They're not going to come around every single time. And look, I'm not going to hammer on Rory. It's difficult. I'm not saying it was the right move, right? But whatever. Like, I can move beyond that. I'm not going to hammer the guy. It was a tough break. The funny thing, though, was like Rory, when he's in the clubhouse and he's watching and he sees the putt and he just turns around and walks off, was the caddy still holding his bag inside? He was just holding it. Like, I don't know how long he was holding it. He just walked out there. I was like, dude, you know that thing will sit down. Like, you're all right. You can set it down. But I want to say one thing to Bryson DeChambeau, directly to you, my man. It is great when a professional athlete understands how important the fans are right out of the gate. That's pretty cool. What's more cool is when somebody kind of doesn't get it, but then they educate themselves and turn it the hell around. That's even better. And Bryson DeChambeau, dude, respect, man. And he stayed when he lost to Xander Schauffele a few years back, right? Like, I love the just tone that Bryson DeChambeau is setting, and he is going out for the fans. He went around the range to make sure every single person got an autograph. He was meeting kids. Like, that alone, man, is so damn cool. And I love the fact that sometimes you just don't get it. And sometimes you have things in life that are going on and you don't know what you don't know. But when you do find that out and you make the change publicly and for the betterment of everyone else that might not ever get a chance again to go to a U.S. Open or any golf tournament, and you made those kids' days, dude, well done, man. Well done.
It is not hard to be nice. It is not hard to take that time. It is harder to be the opposite the way he used to be. And I could not agree more with what you just said, AB. And when last night I'm watching Golf Channel and Johnson Wagner is standing in the bunker, Zaz, standing in the bunker, talking about the shot, and who rolls up in a golf cart? Not even expected in the segment. Bryson with the trophy, watching Johnson hit that shot to a foot. It was unbelievable television. And everything AB said right there, Z-Man, is why I loved it so much. Seeing an athlete who was a full-blown heel for his entire career, a crybaby, you could say. And now he's the biggest baby face in the world. Your take?
It sounds like we had a double turn yesterday, Coach. All right.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to pull off the double turn. But when it's done properly, it's an amazing moment. And yesterday, Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy, it really seemed, and by the way, excellent job by the television crew catching all the moments. It looks like we got a double turn. There were several interesting things that came out of it, okay, where, you're going to get the whole conversation. Did Rory lose it or did DeChambeau win it? I really think you got to start with Rory losing it, because if he doesn't blow those putts, and obviously, what was it, 49 out of 49, 5 feet or less leading up to those 2 putts. If he doesn't blow those 2 putts there, it doesn't open the door in the first place for DeChambeau. So I know a lot of times you'd rather give the winner credit than get on the loser, but it really feels like Rory lost this one. And also, another interesting note when you bring up the live part, like Raphael did, wasn't the crowd chanting USA, USA for Bryson DeChambeau?
Yes.
And
yes.
He's the one who signed with, he took the Saudi money. Rory McIlroy's the one who he told everybody, don't do it. Stay here with the PGA. DeChambeau took the Saudi money, and the crowd is chanting USA for him. I thought that was interesting.
I think because I'm actually, my next event's in 2 weeks. There's been a huge misconception on how the public feels about the whole LIV PGA Tour thing. They're over it. They are over it. They want to get this.
They clearly don't care.
They don't, Z, and that's exactly what it is. And I think yesterday they were rooting for greatness. They were rooting for a great stage, for great theater, and that's exactly what we got. Yesterday, for those 4 hours, are why sports is everything to us. I mean, you can't get better than that. You cannot get better than that. Gentlemen, great takes by all of you. All right, it is that time. If you weren't here at the top of the hour, we were past the bottom of the hour. It's about 10:35 in the East, 7:35 out here in the West as we just get our day started. But we'll go through every single pick, 10 seconds or less. It's called the Whip Around. All right, it's time to predict who's going to go the yard today. And yesterday, Shohei Ohtani, the Dodgers win 3-0. He hits 2 as they lose Mookie Betts in the process. He is a very short plus 150 today. Kyle Schwarber, the Phillies, plus 200. Marcell Ozuna of AB's Braves. Peter Alonso of the Mets. And Henry Candelario. All right, Charles, you're back with us. Who's going to go the yard today?
I'll go with the Big Bear, Ozuna, plus 300. I like this matchup. I think we're going to see runs. So Ozuna, plus 300.
AB, your Braves have started to find it just a little bit with the bats. What do you say today?
The bats are coming alive. Marcell Ozuna is a great choice there at plus 300. I am going Kyle Schwarber, plus 200. This feels like a Schwarb day to me.
It kind of does. 9 games tonight, including the Phillies playing. All right, Z-Man, coming to you. Who's going to go to the yard?
Yeah, I'm going with Ozuna from the Braves. They're going up against the Tigers and Reese Olson throwing meatballs all day long. So I'm going plus 300 Ozuna from the Braves.
Yeah, that pitcher sucks. Absolutely sucks. We haven't got one today from you. I'm a little disappointed. All right, Raphael, you're the last one, big boy. Where are we headed?
I'm taking Pete Alonso at 4-1. The Mets have been playing much better since they came home from England. So I'm going to take the Alonso at 4-1. I think he crushes. And I said the Mets bats are finally waking up a little bit.
Real quick, has anybody seen that show Meat Eater on Netflix? The guy that goes around hunting all the time. I watched the episode with Peter Alonso just last night. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing show. He's a big hunter. I didn't even know that.
Peter what were they hunting? What does Alonso hunt?
They hunt deer. They go to all these remote places in the United States. And this guy he's an author, and he takes celebrities around hunting with him. And they hunt ducks. And I mean,
was Alonso a good shot? Like, did he get anything? Did he bag anything?
Yes, they were going after deer. Yeah. And then they cook part of it at the end of the show. So it's a cooking show with just watch the whole thing. There's tons of celebrities too.
Yeah. And like, I wasn't putting you on the spot with a question. The reason I was asking was like, I could see him, with a rifle being a pretty damn good shot. Like he seems like, he would have that down. Yeah.
Super into it too. So like, the whispering when they're, okay, here we go. Like it's all that. Absolutely loved it. Jared said Pete is a beast of a hunter. Thank you, Jared. He absolutely is. He's super into it.
I did not mean to interrupt your flow, but Big Brett in the chat nailed it. I believe the Mets are like 9-0 since Grimace threw out the first pitch of McDonald's lore. All right, so if I were the other team and if I were hosting the Mets, the Hamburglers coming out to throw the first pitch, I'm putting a shutdown to that immediately.
By the way, I felt like UAB, there's a guy on social media, I'm sure you guys all saw this, that he lost his fantasy football league, and so his punishment was 24 hours sitting in a McDonald's. And he could get time off by what he would eat. So he had like 17 hash browns. Like, it was crazy. It was a great punishment. I felt like watching UAB.
We'd be out of there in 8 minutes.
You got kicked out in like 8 minutes to do the show from there live. All right, we got to get to every single show, every single pick. 10 seconds or less, one little nugget on each play. So, Charles, 3 games today right now. We got Romania absolutely laying it all over Ukraine, 3-0 in that game. What do you like elsewhere today, sir?
I'd like a Ukraine goal, but we'll go ahead and go France, Austria, both teams to score. I definitely see each side getting on the scoreboard. And lastly, we have a little first half parlay, Belgium, Slovakia to score a first half goal, and France, Austria to get a first half goal.
All those games are spread out by 3-hour start times. The last two today are on Fox and FS1. Raphael, you're up.
I'm thinking France by 1 goal plus 275. It's down to plus 210. And I would also look at France by 2 goals. And these will be found under the game props when you click on FanDuel and BetMGM any place. And then give me Celtics first quarter -2 because blowout city is going to happen in Boston.
There's going to be a ton of energy in Boston tonight too, Z-Man. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm laying the 6.5 points for the game on the Celtics. If you don't think this game's going to be a blowout tonight, then you don't like money, all right? So Celtics -6.5. I don't think it's a game that we're going to have to sweat out in the fourth quarter.
I love how you give your takes. All right, AB, 2 big games in Omaha today. Talk to me.
NC State money line plus 110, Texas A&M money line -130. And on the last one, Tracy in the chat has a question. And Raphael, I would love your assistance here. All right, so we're taking Texas A&M, Kentucky, the over 9.5. All right, -115. That's what it was before the show started. Now, Tracy in the chat says line Texas A&M over is now at plus 100, meaning, Raphael, that the bets are going down. Would we see an 8.5? And I know that like you've done like zero prep in the last 8 minutes on this question. So like, I'm not putting you on the spot, but just you in your head, that's such a low number. Like, is there a line where you're like, I don't care what the betting is. I can't go, 8.5, 7.5 in a game. Like what could you help Tracy? Because I think you'd be better than me.
I don't think they will move the number. I think they'll just move the juice around because let's face it, they're not getting as much bets on college baseball, especially today with the NBA finals going on. Don't be mad at me, AB, for me saying that. But with the NBA finals and baseball going on today, I would be shocked if they drop it a whole run. I think they just move the juice around throughout the day because you can get more money moving the juice around than you are moving the total because then you'd be afraid to get middled.
Bingo. There you go. So so the answer would be yes, Tracy. Still like the over, absolutely. And if it's not going to go to 8.5, getting it at plus money, solid, because that it's about the best of both worlds if it's not going to drop.
They're expecting win tonight. There
you go.
Same thing with the Pittsburgh Pirates game. They're expecting thunderstorms. Hopefully that game will be able to start on time with this afternoon. Big thunderstorm alerts over in Pittsburgh.
If you're facing thunderstorms or weather in Major League Baseball, stay away from pitcher props. Because they can, if there's a rain delay in the second inning, Skenes is out.
Go under.
So pay attention. There you go. Absolutely. Real quick, Z-Man, where can we find you this week, bud?
Zaslow Show 2.0 every day. It's my personal podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can get Zaslow Show 2.0. You subscribe to that. You tell all your friends. It's good for the algorithm. Then I get all the money. I love you a long time. I'll be on ESPN Radio tomorrow night, 7 p.m., and then Thursday and Friday in the afternoon from 3 to 7 p.m. on ESPN Radio. So, you're going to be hearing a lot of me this week. Good times.
The DTL crew is everywhere on every platform. I tell you all the time, we've got the best in the business. That's a perfect example of it. And Charles and Raphael will all be on with me tonight and DG on DTL After Dark. All right, it's time to wrap things up with the closing bell. All right, AB, a couple of things. The Howie Schwab crew play of the day is what?
The Celtics -6.5. Over 40% of the votes coming in, almost 45%. Loving Boston, and quite frankly, how could you not?
What do we say all the time? Keep it simple. And that's what we're doing tonight, just laying the 6.5. And we have 2 other live shows in addition to DTL After Dark, and they are what, AB?
Correct, sir. 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to break down all the prop bets for Florida and NC State. This is an elimination game, so backs are against the wall. And then 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to break down Texas A&M and Kentucky. Neither of these teams have lost yet in the College World Series, so the winner of this game, it is incredibly important because you get to sit and chill and watch everybody else destroy each other while your pitching staff gets healthy. Big games, 2 huge ones today.
And remember, it is cash stacking time. That's what the next 2 months are all about. You win a little bit, put it away. Win a little bit, put it away. That's what these 2 months are all about. We got you covered. AB, Great job as always. We'll see you later today live right here on this channel. Thank you, producer man, for the one shot. Understand this. This is a great start to the week. Yes, we are in the middle of June, but it doesn't matter because we can continue to be positive. We can continue to take care of each other. It's time for you to go out into the world now. Be kind to one another. Be honest with each other. It's the only way that this works. And understand we're all doing this together. So there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Brian Tucker, level. My man from the Dirty Charles. Man from South Beach. The Z-Man. My numbers guy, Raphael. My 5-tool player, AB. Producer man, always behind the scenes. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here at Driving the Line. Good luck.